T Nation, we are live. A special Sunday edition, October 9th, 2022. Moose, you are with me, sir. Thank you for joining us, man. Moose called the shot on this one. And I think it was a good call, man. Do a live stream on a Sunday. We got some things to discuss. There were a couple of topics we actually wanted to get Moose's input on earlier in the week, but we weren't able to kind of hit the timing. I also was able to land a bearded dragon. So we got a moose sighting. We got a bearded dragon sighting. And if the bearded dragon is ready, you can let me know in the, there you go, signal. He's either landing a plane or he's ready. We'll see which one it is.
Yes.
What up, the bearded one, man?
Ahoy.
All right, good. We got his audio. He's in here. Moose is here. This is going to be a good one, man. I see a couple of, we got some people here in the live already. I think it's like 30 plus people here. So we got, well, if they're still here, because these go back kind of about like 10 or 15 minutes ago. Josh Posey's here. We got Trex. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming through, gents. We got Chuck Luke. Maximus is here. The homie Ciprioni Tech is in the house. Josh, good to see you, man. Mark Smith is here. And actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and do something for Mark. You have been knighted, good sir. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming by. Troy Hicks is in the house. Appreciate you, man. Don Taylor is here. Craig is in the house. Welcome to the show, everyone. That's good for the intros. Robert, good to see you as well. Black Scorpion is here. All right, excellent. Okay, so the first topic, Moose, I know you kind of wanted to go in. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So that being the case, Moose, you want to get us started here, or do you want me to pull up the story? How do you want me to do that?
Yeah, pull up the story. Let's see, the reaction to the people, and then let's discuss the thing.
Awesome. Okay. All right, story is actually from Light Reading. I'll do the screen share so you guys can kind of follow along to the deets. But basically what it boils down to is T-Mobile is questioning T-Mobile's ability to, fulfill their promises, I suppose. Is that how this goes?
It's AT&T's ability to fulfill the promises, not T-Mobile's.
Yeah. AT&T is the one being questioned, is what I meant to say. Okay, so, I don't know, Pete, you caught this earlier, maybe?
Yeah.
I reported it. I did the video. I didn't have a problem too much with them trying to kind of kick in the door to get a little bit of action, when it comes to like agency accounts and stuff like that. So I get that. I respect that. The problem is I feel like them calling out AT&T now brings a lot of unwanted attention because, T-Mobile just laid off thousands of employees. They violated a lot of like merger promises and such.
They sacked one of our friends.
Yeah, so that one hit hard. That one's personal, right? So like we feel it. I also think that T-Mobile doesn't really have a better network nationally when it comes to like a first responder network, right? So like, how are you going to say these things and you don't really have your ducks in a row is kind of where I'm going with this. Moose has some things he wanted to kind of mention, so Moose, jump in, say what you want to say, and then I guess me and Pete will kind of go back and forth with you there.
So one of the things that I'm going to remind folks, and we talked about this in the podcast back in 2020, and in 2019, Sneed was already posting videos about this. T-Mobile, in order to get the merger through the California Public Utility Commission, right, the CPUC, right, they gave conditions, right, that by 2023, right, 3 years from the merger.
They ain't going to get it,
right?
Moose. It's too hard. They're not going to get it.
Let me reiterate exactly what they said. So they said that on average, right, across the state of California, because of N41, they will be averaging 300 plus Mbps everywhere. Okay? 300 plus everywhere. Now, in order to do that, right, they had to have a lot of things go well, which they have done, right? They have done the metro areas. They have done the suburban areas, right? They have increased the backhaul. They have gotten more megahertz from the spotty channels. You know what I mean? Like they just got the, what is it called, the auction
Widening the
108.
channels and
Yeah,
such. Yeah.
exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Auction 108. Right. Okay. All of these things have come to fruition for them, right? So that they are able to be successful. However, they are not able to meet that even with all of those things going in their favor. And I'll tell you why. Because California is too big of a damn state that they don't have enough money to give all four major metro areas. Sacramento, Folsom, right? That's one major metro area. You have San Francisco, the Bay Area. You have LA, right? LA and Irvine and San Bernardino, right? And then you have San Diego, right? Those are the four major metros. Okay. Within the metros, they can meet it because they have the backhaul availability there. You know, the 10 gig backhaul, possibly even 20 in certain cases, right? But in the rural areas, like in the mountains and in the deserts and in the forests in the north, right? Actually, even in the coast in the northwest of the state, they're not going to be able to get it because there's just no backhaul that supports that type of connection, right? And I'll give you a perfect example. I was driving north to like Oklahoma, right? And over here, there's a couple of sites, right, that they're pulling easily 150, right, on the download with N41, and that's actually pretty good. I'm not saying that that's bad, right? But to say to the CPUC that the entire state, right, of California is going to do 300 down, how is that possible if a perfect example is rural Texas, right? There's rural California in a lot of places, right? They're not going to be able to make it, dog. Bottom line. So that's number one stipulation. Number two stipulation was they promised the New York Attorney General that they are not going to be slashing jobs. Remember? And they were actually going to put a call center in Queens, if I remember correctly. Okay? They were going to put a call center in the Long Island area, Queens, Brooklyn area.
I didn't get business calls going to Queens. I'm still in like Charlotte, Vegas, and Chattanooga.
Right. They were going to put a call center in New York. They haven't done it. We have folks that we know that have been laid off. Okay? Engineering folks that are the lifeblood, they are the core of making this whole thing possible. If what they're going to be doing, their strategy is just slapping on band 41, slapping on band 71, and then just blasting it to the horizon, then that's not engineering at all. That's just I forgot who said this, but it's a sticks and duct tape type of network, I forgot who said that, but it was like a sticks and duct tape.
Well,
but anyways,
so can we circle back to a couple of things? All right, so in terms of the CPUC, the bigger issue is that they have not done all the right things up until this point with regards to merger promises and jobs. So we got that problem. Pete alluded to it. Pete's right. I think we can all agree. The network piece in California, they probably need a dedicated capex of $3 to $5 billion every year for the next 3 years in California just to make that happen. That is a very difficult task because there are places with no coverage today that would need tower sites, and then there's sites that are outdated or older that need to be upgraded, and they still have to densify in certain parts of the metro areas that need small cells, which they haven't done yet. Well, at least not to scale. So like my bigger problem, and Pete's right about this other thing, real quick, Pete, before I let you go. The fact that you said that T-Mobile is right to ask for interoperability, the only way I agree with you is if T-Mobile did everything in their power first.
Yeah.
That it would be a backup plan. It would not be
a
supplement to their network. Go ahead, Pete.
Yeah, it would not be the primary. It's like we built out the coverage isn't reaching on the N71 because of tower network things. But
Well, Pete, call a spade here. Of the big three, who's more likely to have failed connections on a FirstNet?
on a FirstNet,
If it was FirstNet, who because I asked a question in the live chat. You guys will see the poll. Go ahead and make your vote if you haven't done it yet. I asked the question. It's right there. Should T-Mobile have bid for the FirstNet contract in light of them blowing down on AT&T? So the options, Pete, yes, they could prove themselves. No, AT&T was good for the contract, or that would be a bad joke. Those are my three options. I mean, the way I'm looking at it is like this, Pete. If the shoe is on the other foot and AT&T doesn't get the contract and T-Mobile does, would we be better off with a first responder network under T-Mobile than the current AT&T?
No.
So then what's T-Mobile's angle here outside of them just jockeying for position in agencies?
You just said the angle.
Yeah, I got nothing else. Like, in my opinion, I almost kind of take this statement from them or this questioning as just, it's like marketing to me. You know, they can't be serious. You know, their network is by percentage points smaller. Their network has, I don't know, more regional outages, I suppose. Not that AT&T doesn't have it, but I think T-Mobile's are more frequent.
Pull up Landon's comment.
I could do that.
I would say, to be honest, it should be a shared in terms of competition. I would give...
How do you structure that, Pete?
So, we have the technology to structure this. It's CBRS, but before I get into that, shout-outs to Austin Tech with a $5 super chat. He said, a week ago I had to call 911 service with my Mint line. Sounded like hot trash. That's not good. Sounds like calling 911 on AT&T in my market. But Austin, they need to improve it so your first responders can hear you.
Right.
So...
Oh, and Pete, the CBRS piece, man.
You
know how dense that network's got to be? That needs a site every half mile.
Hold up. We have the technology
okay.
to have all four major carriers be on CBRS. Or not CBRS, FirstNet. You have the AT&T with the priority access, and T-Mobile and Verizon and Dish would all have, subordinate access. So if AT&T wasn't lit up, either of the other three could get on that spectrum and utilize it to its full potential, but AT&T would still preempt it up until, 2 megs.
So here's my proposal, and I don't know how realistic it is. I think we actually need dedicated FirstNet hardware.
We do. And
well, kind of, Pete, but it's still shared with commercial.
No, I'm saying
there's just preemption and priority.
We do need dedicated.
Yeah.
Not we do have.
Oh, okay.
I'm agreeing that we need the dedicated.
Yeah.
And under two presidential administrations ago, the FirstNet committee was trying to get the government to give them their own network in some autonomy outside of AT&T.
Because the way it would be structured, Pete, you would here's what I would do. Hey, Dish, you want to do telco operations? Hey, Verizon, you want to do telco operations? Hey, AT&T, hey, T-Mobile, you want to do telco operations? Every 2 miles, there must be dedicated hardware up for each carrier, right? So, actually, let's make it a mile. Every mile, there needs to be a tower site. So that means, Dish, here's your tower site to do. T-Mobile, here's your site to do. Verizon, here's your site to do. I want a 1 mile handoff. So that way the SINAR, the RSRP, I want absolutely flawless RF. I want low band, I want mid band, I want millimeter wave. I want the whole thing on that site. No failures. I want backup batteries just for those dedicated radios and antennas. I want a power source, a backup power source outside of the batteries. I don't care if it's natural gas. I don't care if it's diesel. If
I
you
don't care
really
if
want to
it's
do it,
nuclear powered.
even if you're like I'm telling you, bro, if you're really gonna do a flawless first responder network, every carrier needs to be involved, and they need to do their part. So on a 5-mile stretch, I want 4 or 5 tower sites, and all major carriers have to provide an element within that space. And they
You
need to
see,
manage it, and they need to support it, maintain it, and that way the burden doesn't fall on one carrier who could be effing
And
up.
and then they could get a piece of the dedicated networking for that.
There you go. But they're all going
see
to run on the
the
same protocol, right? They're all going to be on the same operations policies
Yep.
within the standard, you know?
But
right.
if there's a situation where, say, you have AT&T with in that tower cluster around it, with 3 and the other 2 just having 1, I would give preemption to AT&T.
Sure.
See, this is the thing, guys. Though, right? There was an RFP by the government, right? I don't know if it was in 2016 or 2017. I forgot which year. But there was a huge request for a proposal, right? That by 2025, right, and the milestones in between 2017 and 2025, that whichever carrier was to carry the spectrum would be able to accomplish the goal from set by the government, right? And the government would help them by giving them several billions just for specific equipment, right? Now, here's the thing that's interesting, because you brought up earlier dedicated spectrum. There was before Rosenthal, the lady right now, right? The Jessica, right? The Jessica lady.
Rosen
There was,
Wursel.
yeah, that lady, right? Before the FCC chairman that we have today, there was an opportunity for 4.9 gigahertz to be dedicated mid-band FirstNet, right? But here's the thing. Look at what we're seeing with the DoD spectrum, right? Look at what we're seeing with the DoD. And this is going into the second topic, right? A little bit into the second topic. Not all manufacturers are ready to go with the 3.45.
We got a problem with the FCC,
yeah,
in my opinion. We have a problem with OEMs, Qualcomm.
yeah,
I mean, the carriers. There's a lot of culpability out here, man.
yeah. There's
Yeah.
a lot of issues. And so imagine if you have just one carrier, FirstNet, on top of AT&T currently, requesting Apple, Samsung, Google to also include 4.9. Dude, this is where it gets very complicated, because it's complicated because FCC made it complicated. Like you said, Sneed, a couple of podcasts ago, the FCC made the N77 issue a reality. This is an issue that they created, straight up. It should not have been an issue, but they made it an issue.
Yeah, out of negligence and incompetence, it became an issue. It just didn't have to be that way.
And you do not want incompetence when it comes to your spectrum.
I mean, look, man. I did a video on this on the Patreon side. I know a lot of you that are here. You may be aware of Patreon, but like, there's so much more that we discuss and do on the Patreon side. So if you want to get more involved and get more access and stuff like that, the Patreon link's in the description.
I gotta sit on there more often, let me tell you.
Well, we were on there this morning, Pete, and we had great convos going on. We had like 4 panel guests. It was a good time. The one video I'm mentioning that I dropped earlier last week, like, they're trying to, like, Jessica Rosenworcel wants to leave a legacy of cleaning up the spectrum problem. She wants to have a spectrum plan, like, moving forward. Like, when is the spectrum going to be available? How are we going to make it available to mobile network operators? Like, I'm talking about, like, commercial versus private versus, fixed wireless providers. Like, she wants a real plan. I respect that, dude, because we haven't really had that for a long time. I feel like we've been flailing, trying to clean up messes every 5 or 6 years. And it's been bad. I think the 700 megahertz frequencies are atrocious. I think the only reason why PCS and AWS have relatively gone unscathed is because of timing with luck, because the entire 3 gigahertz is a cluster F going from C-band to DoD, and the naming. I mean, they're probably going to find a way to ruin 3.1 too. So in my opinion, we need organization from the FCC level.
Sneed.
Yeah.
I've already assumed 3.1 is a complete mess.
And we haven't even gotten there yet. We're talking about, what, 2-3 years from today, right?
I'm expecting 3 years, yes.
We're talking about a frequency that's probably going to generate money just like C-band did. And they're going to find a way to mess it up, probably. Okay? And then that's just from the leadership standpoint. The mobile network operators, they have no authority. They just spend the billions and try to put it on every site. And then you have the OEMs, like, look at Qualcomm, what they're doing with 3.45. They're ruining it. You know, like, there are, I know for a fact there are patents that are restricting Google from having it on their phone. It does not make any sense.
They are, and the patent should not be there because the spectrum is a public resource.
And by the way, I have a couple comments that we need to address in the live chat. So let me go to Desi Trucking Life, right? That's great that we have, right, like I was mentioning, much better speeds with T-Mobile all around California. But it's not about the speed, right? Sneed and I have said this from the beginning. I don't care if I get a gig on the down.
If you got preemption and priority, what the hell does the speed matter?
Exactly. I need reliability. I need the FaceTimes to not drop. I need the live streams to not drop. I mean, Sneed has so many anecdotal evidence.
Hey, I got a perfect example for the speed, and it might be weird compared to what you two are talking about, but yesterday I was working at someone's house, and they had AT&T. Busted out my phone on Los Blue, tested AT&T, faster speeds than T-Mobile. T-Mobile was getting like 15, it was getting 30 down. But unlike T-Mobile, the AT&T line wasn't loading web pages. I had more speed, more capacity, but the latency was horrible. In other markets, it's flipped, where AT&T loads noticeably quicker than T-Mobile, despite T-Mobile being faster. It's all based on what you're paying for, what your expectations are, and how well it works.
Yeah, perfect example on that one, Pete, right, is that lowest possible ping, right, wins the day. I don't care if I have 5 Mbps or I have 100. I'd rather get the lowest possible ping and the least latency, right? Latency and reliability, right? Who cares about the speed? Now, we have another comment that was earlier from Michael, right? Is that Michael is saying that the reliability is in question, right? Now, if the reliability was in question, do we also take into consideration the security factor? You know, today, as a perfect example, right, Sneed switched his FirstNet line to his 14 Pro Max. In order to switch it, you need multiple checks in order to even switch a damn eSIM. Why? Because of how secure the network is. They don't want any SIM swap attacks, any issues with the SIM swap, nothing, right? Because when you go on your portal and you're doing that swap, you are basically saying, yes, I am confirming I am going to switch from one phone to another phone, and this is the line that I want to do it. And I want it to be a secure transfer, no room for error, right? Sneed, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I did all my eSIM transfers from my iPhone 13 Pro. I just got my iPhone 14 Pro Max in the mail yesterday, so it was shipped and I got it, and I was moving SIMs. The first SIM that I did was the FirstNet SIM, It was instantaneous, flawless. It worked great, exactly as intended, I believe. So that was good. I was very happy with that. The next one I did, I think was it AT&T or Verizon, Moose?
Verizon next.
Okay, so we did the Verizon one next, and it was a cinch. It was flawless. I think I did have to turn off the first eSIM that I activated. So sometimes I think what happens is trying to put multiple eSIMs on the eSIM IMEI on the same one. You have to turn off the eSIM that you were using, the number, and then bring in the new eSIM. So you can kind of like add the profiles. So anyways, once we figured that out, it came in pretty quick. It was flawless. It was easy. So we did the Verizon one, we did the FirstNet one, and then the AT&T one came after. The only one I couldn't do, and I'm not 100% sure as to why, the T-Mobile eSIM wouldn't transfer. So, and all it was saying to me, it gave me like a note on the screen, and it said, this action can't be done. Choose something else. And it gave me like the option for like a QR code.
Which T-Mobile line was that?
This is the Los Mobile account. So I have a physical SIM for the Guru account. Yeah. So like that one, actually, you know what I'm going to do, Pete? I'm getting a Google phone here in a couple of days, I'm assuming. I think I'm going to put a T-Mobile line on the new Google phone so I can test the N41.
Yeah. Do you want
and then I'm going to
eSIM?
put a Verizon eSIM on there. I think that's going to be the combo for that phone. I'm not really feeling AT&T on the Google Pixel.
Yeah, AT&T's... I can't recommend Pixels to anybody who mains AT&T. They just don't seem to work well together.
But I still can't figure it out, man. I went through like 3 attempts, and I could not get the Magenta MAX line to transfer as an eSIM. It gave me the option for a QR code, but it wouldn't generate one.
Does Los Pink have SIM transfer restrictions like TechGuru?
I was thinking that may be the only way.
Because you know, you try that with my line, they're like, yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, I did the same thing with like my Verizon account. Nothing can be transferred. There's a no SIM switching policy on my account. Yeah, so I don't know, man. So I got to figure that out. And once I get, and actually, you know what? I mean, if I end up keeping the 13 Pro, I could always just keep the T-Mobile on there by itself, because I'm not going to be. They're not putting up any DoD anytime soon. So what am I missing out on?
DoD for T-Mobile is mid-2023.
Do you think it's going to launch by the end of the year next year for them?
Let me phrase this correctly. It is known that in some markets, to alleviate congestion, T-Mobile will be launching the DoD spectrum, lower N77. You know, expected in like the SoCal area and New York, the pittance they got, but that will be buffering them, and they'll be carrier aggregating that with their N41.
They basically have it national, Pete.
Yep, but the rollout is going to start in the major cities and then be included in other modernization sites. So when they add the if they add the upper N77, it will probably also be on there, but they're going to prioritize their more congested markets.
You know who's going to make a lot of money in the next couple of years, Pete?
Crown Castle?
Yeah, they'll make a lot of money, but OEM vendors. The ones that actually have to build and engineer, design 3-in-1 antennas and radios. By 3-in-1, I mean like antenna radio combo, but it also does like 3 different sets of frequencies. So for example, it does the entire 3 gigahertz bands, right? CBRS, DoD, C-band. Right? So like Verizon's going to throw money at that company. Whoever can do that. For T-Mobile, it's going to be N41, N77. Whoever can give them that first is getting all their money. For AT&T, it's going to be the same thing, right?
Real
3.45,
runs.
3.7, and then, whatever else they need down the line, which is probably going to be some 3.1 or something. Like that vendor is going to get money hand over fist because right now they're putting up 2 antennas, 2 radios.
That's a lot of money.
Or if you're Verizon, you're putting up CBRS and you're putting up the 3.7, and the CBRS is not an air, so it's not integrated. It's literally a radio separate from the antenna. So it's even more clunky. And there's space limitations and there's weight limitations. Let's call a spade here. We're all talking about how our phones connect to this stuff. What about the guys signing these contracts and building all these policies on these ginormous rods of steel sticking up in the sky?
I have a friend whose son does it, and it's kind of fun, and hopefully gets some money out of this in coming years. And Rugged, I am with you. I'm expecting Ericsson to be the T-Mobile vendor.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of unique aggregation opportunities. Millimeter wave's going to go up on these freaking tower sites eventually. That's another antenna radio, air combo. What are you going to do? Just stack them up on top of each other like some flapjacks? Are we going to start seeing interference issues,
You can't
Pete?
do that. When you stack them like flapjacks, you have interference. You're going to have to stagger them.
But you get what I'm saying? Like those low band ones are like tall and big, so they take up a lot of space because they do like 4 bands, right? Like for Verizon, it's like 13, 5, 2 and 66 or something.
And depending on the site, only 13 in that entire thing.
Well, if it's only 13, then they need an upgrade for everything. They're gonna be putting up tons of hardware. They missed out on everything over the last 10 years.
I'll tell you about this band 13 only experience I had recently after the show, Sneed.
To hell with that, bro. I don't want to hear about that. You gonna tell me about the 1 meg life?
Damn! Aren't you fancy?
You couldn't even get that, Pete?
Tell you after the show.
Oh, damn. You got the half meg backhaul? Oh, damn. All right, you guys think we did this right? You think we did this story some justice, Moose?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think that if rounding out the poll, if you want to bring up the results of the poll.
All right, we could do that. All right, poll is done. We got 104 votes. The people have spoken. The nation. Should T-Mobile have bid for the FirstNet contract in light of blowing down on AT&T? I'm glad 46% agreed with me. Yes, they could prove themselves. See, but they didn't even make a bid because they knew what time it was. They knew it was going to be a massive challenge. I mean, hell, AT&T even has trouble with the challenge, right?
So, with the bidding, you should realize one thing. These bids are not free. You cannot just, jump on a mountain and go, we want to do this. Nah. At the moment, there is a track record issue with the Department of Homeland Security and everybody else involved. So they'd be throwing in a few $100,000 just to get laughed out.
Yeah, but I know that they can put out their feelers and be like, hey, should we bother? Ask the right people the right questions. You find out what you need. I don't know. We got 33% said no. AT&T was good for the contract, and the last one was that would be a bad joke. 104 votes. You guys, awesome. Nice job.
Personally, and I forget the guy who said this, but I think Verizon would have done a better job as long as
only because they have the larger network right now, or at the
largest
time.
footprint. Yeah. As long as they didn't throttle, they'd be gravy.
Well, let's not forget what happened with those firefighters back in 2017.
That's probably what killed them from their bid.
Yeah, maybe they're like, hey, that's too much to glance over. Too fresh, too fresh. Oh damn. Yeah, Jerome is saying T-Mobile has the speed but not enough reliability. Maybe.
Depends on market, and I hope they improve in your market, Jerome.
All right, guys. Good stuff, man. Very good stuff. I'm actually going to build another poll, Pete. All right, Moose.
Sweet. What are we asking?
Let me get Moose back in here. Hey, Moose.
Yeah, I'm back.
How would you like me to build this last poll, man? It's the one about the Google Pixel.
You know, I think it's if we truly believe that 3.45 is not going to be on the device, I think that's huge right there, right?
At least if you're on AT&T.
Or if you're on T-Mobile in certain areas where N41 gets congested, which there are places that it gets congested.
So Moose, how should I structure this? Is it a deal breaker?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to assume that the Pixel user or the Pixel connoisseur, right? The person who buys that phone is not a average. What happened?
Hey, buddy. I bought a Pixel 7 Pro and a Pixel 7. Yeah, I'm the guy you're talking about.
I'm thinking they're power users. Honestly, I really think that Pixel users are power users. They want the best from an Android device, from a software point of view. You know, that's why if you were to ask that same Pixel user, would you have those, what's it called? Those Galaxies, and at the time in HTC, that was just stock Android, right? If those came back, would you stick with Pixel or would you go an S22 with stock Android, right? They're power users, I'm telling you.
That'd be a hard one, Moose. It would depend on, like, how the photos turn out on the Play Store editions at the moment.
That's right. I still feel... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I just posted the poll if you guys want to get your votes in. Google Pixel 7, no 3.4, DOD seems to be the indication. Deal breaker for an AT&T customer if they want the phone. Yes, it's a deal breaker. No, it's not a deal breaker. Third option, I prefer iPhone or Galaxy on AT&T.
I'm going to have a good talk on this when we close the poll. It's going to be funny.
Look, so I use all phones. Pete, you've become also the type of person who's been mixing and matching. Moose, you've been using Galaxies for a couple years, maybe 3 years. You've been using the Pixel now for a couple years, and then you've been with the iPhone since what, like Gen 2 or something, Gen 1?
Gen 1, yeah.
Gen 1, so the OG iPhone, right? And you've always been with AT&T for that because it was the AT&T phone. So, I don't know. I'd say that you got three guys who have at least a couple years experience with all the major OEMs that are left standing. Motorola doesn't get involved in flagships, so we don't comment on them.
I miss Moto, man.
They don't make any waves, bro. No impact. They're mostly mid-range and entry level. LG's gone. HTC is gone. OnePlus makes some noise some years, but they're nowhere near being consistent, and their best-selling phones are mid-rangers. So if you want the latest and greatest hardware, you're not signing up for a OnePlus Nord. You're not signing up for a Moto G. You know what I'm saying? It's just not happening. Okay, so here's the way I look at this. If someone says to me, and people do ask me all the time for my input, and I try to be honest and objective. If you're an AT&T customer and you want the Google Pixel 7 and that's your favorite phone and that's what you want, nothing's stopping you from enjoying your experience there. The problem is going to be that there are 40 megahertz of bandwidth that you are not going to connect to if this actually is the case. Well, we're going to get confirmation at some point. I mean, I'm definitely getting a phone, and I will test it. All right, but we're going to get indication at some point. Missing out on 40 megahertz of bandwidth is pretty damn annoying because you want to combine the entire channel. We were just as upset when we found out that the iPhone wasn't going to be aggregating DoD and C-band together off activation, right? When they turned on DoD and we found out, and I tested it today, Moose. All right, so I got a video on that, and I'm going to show you guys what exactly is going on here. This, if you're a network tech enthusiast, you're probably going to stay away from the Pixel on AT&T. If you are a diehard Pixel lover, software, cameras, that Google experience, the lifestyle features, Pete, you know what I'm talking about, dog. You know, where you got the freaking Google Assistant making calls for you, you're screening all the spam, you know, like the visual voicemail built in. I mean, you can't beat it.
I've picked people who clients up using the Google Answer for me, and they don't go, "Why the hell are you sending me to a robot?" The last three said, "Wow, you have a really nice personal assistant that forwards your calls." That's like
beautiful.
Woo.
Beautiful.
So, you know, if you're the network tech enthusiast, you're probably staying away. You're probably looking at a Galaxy if you want an Android, and you're probably looking at the iPhone just overall. I mean, they're known as the iPhone network. The unfortunate thing is regardless, even your iPhone 13 isn't going to pick up DoD and C-band and aggregate them.
Does the 13S do that?
The 13 is simply just going to get C-band. The 14 gets one or the other right now.
13S.
Is that what the 14 is? A 13S?
You saw the improvements.
It's okay, Pete. Like, I've got videos that I've got on deck. I was literally working on videos all day, dude. Like, I did find time to eat and play with Yasmin and hang out with the better half. But, like, dude, I put in hours testing Wi-Fi, testing cellular, you know, the setup, the unboxing, editing video, uploading content, bro, all day. And I have a pretty good feel for, like, what Apple did with this iPhone. And it's a refinement. It's no groundbreaking upgrade. You know, it's typical Apple. Like, if you're coming out of an 11, it's an upgrade. If you're coming out of a 12, it's probably a worthy upgrade too. But from year to year, Pete, it's like, whatever.
Let me ask you guys this.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Let me ask you guys this. If, hypothetically, the Pixel had a Qualcomm X65 chip, would we be saying the same things as we're saying now? Would it be a problem on AT&T?
So are we blaming Qualcomm or are we blaming Apple?
No. I'm blaming the Samsung cellular modem that is on the Pixels. I feel like that has always been the issue from the beginning.
Yeah, but the iPhone isn't aggregating the two frequencies either. So one doesn't pick it up at all. The other one isn't combining it. So, like, it's the same situation, Moose. If I use a Pixel 7 Pro on the AT&T network, I'm getting 40 megahertz of C-band. If I use the iPhone, I'm getting 40 megahertz of C-band or 40 megahertz of DoD. What the hell's the difference?
Right.
So I have to sit back and look at this and say, well, in a year, AT&T will at least have 80 megahertz of C-band in my market. So at least then the iPhone for sure will have 80 megahertz of C-band. But the Pixel will too.
Well,
and we still don't know if the Exynos modem, or whatever they're calling it, will get the upgrade for the DoD or not. I mean, our 6 Pros got a modem firmware update, and we unlocked new features on the modem.
I mean, I got to keep the same energy. If I'm connected to 40 on the 40 megahertz of bandwidth on the iPhone 14 and 40 megahertz on the Pixel, how the hell is that any different? Unless the iPhone aggregates it at some point, then what the hell's the difference, Moose?
So this is what I'm saying, right? Would you rather have access to a separate band of N77 in cases of congestion, or would you rather just have access to one, which is the primary, where the majority of the capable C-band devices will be on, right?
Moose,
And,
the Apple's
S21,
Apple's
S12.
iPhone is the flagship for AT&T, and it's not combining their two most critical assets nationwide.
Well,
Hey,
like,
is this
like you said earlier, right? For now.
Hold up.
For
is
now,
this like,
but we need confirmation. Okay, when are we going to get communication from frickin' who's the network guy? Is it LaRoche?
No, it's Sambar.
Okay, yeah, we heard from Sambar, and he's the one that indicated we were going to get it, and we didn't get it on the 13, the DoD. He had to backtrack that. Okay, so we need disclosures. When is this going to happen? Like if I don't get January 1st, 2023 or something, like if I don't get a date, then what am I really recommending to people?
hey, Sneed, it's going to be January 1st, 2025. Chillax.
Yeah, great. We'll have like 2 more Spectrum auctions between now and then, and we'll have something else to worry about.
Yeah, and then AT&T only certifying on the iPhone 17s.
We don't get good communication out of the Death Star when it comes to these newer frequencies. I'm sorry, bro, but that's the truth. And we don't have to worry about this shit with T-Mobile because they're focused on N41, and then Verizon, we don't have to worry about anything because they're only doing C-band, CBRS, and millimeter wave.
I think it was ridiculous, the backtrack, right? Don't say anything.
Right.
You shouldn't have said anything from the beginning. Right?
Exactly.
You shouldn't have said anything from the beginning. Yeah, go ahead.
You know what he should have said was, we can't do it on these phones. And then if it was able to be reversed later, it would have looked like a miracle. They would have looked like frickin' Nino Brown on Thanksgiving giving out turkeys.
And you know what we were talking about a couple podcasts ago, Sneed, right? It was too expensive to do it, right? Or the actual modems have a limitation from Qualcomm and they're trying to research it. And this is what I think happened, okay? This is just speculation, okay? I think that the Qualcomm guys told somebody on the AT&T side, oh yeah, we think we're able to do this, right? With not changing many things, just activating blah, blah, blah. But then when they started testing it, right? Because remember, we got a guy on the inside at Qualcomm, right? This week, I'm probably going to ask him saying like, hey, what's the real story about this 3.45, right? What's the issue? Is it a Qualcomm issue? Is it a chip issue? Is it a testing issue? You guys haven't had enough time to test it, to prove it out? Or here's another thing, Sneed, that we don't even talk about, right? Right, Pete? The reliability of activating that band on the older chipsets. We don't know.
Okay, how about this?
That would be... Hold up, Sneed. The reliability of that band on older chipsets would be worth looking into.
Okay, you want to do that? I'll take you one further. I don't have a tool that allows me to view if I'm connected to it or not. I can't say I'm connected to 3.45 on the iPhone. All I see is 40 megahertz N77.
That would be a step 0, being able to figure out if you're connected to the
One of the
frequency
carriers is
on the
going to
phone.
develop a tool within their frickin' apps that we can actually see the bands we're connected to. We can
Project
actually see the
Genesis
bands
have
that are
that?
on a site. Pete, imagine a coverage map from a carrier that says site updated November 2022. The following bands are present as of such and such date.
Man, that would be easier than calling a friend.
When
who
are the
works
carriers
for
going to
them.
open up their books when it comes to the network? Why the hell not? What is that, some kind of
Trade
insider
secret.
information? No, that's not insider information. That's good business.
Hey, maybe that's the next uncarrier move.
Pete, I swear to God, I would pay money monthly to be able to access that tool.
I'd do $5 a month
See,
to access
same.
it.
I swear to God, I would pay $4.99 a month to be able to see every frequency, every band, every tower site on a map with the date that it was built, the date that it was last upgraded, and all
Yeah.
the frequencies that are present on those antennas and the certifications. But the FCC has to do that. They would have to demand it.
And I'd keep paying that $5 even if I'm not leaving my geographic location.
You don't need to pay for it. It should be mandated by the FCC to tell me.
I'm just saying, Moose, I
You
would be
know,
willing to pay to get this thing rolling.
no. I understand. But in South Korea, they have that, man. They tell you how many sites have been upgraded with the equivalent of C-band. The 3 gigahertz spectrum.
Okay,
Right?
let me
Go ahead.
respond to Jerome here. Jerome, my channel has over 20,000 subscribers. Real people that watch my content. They all want this tool. I didn't have 20,000 subscribers 5 years ago. I had 50.
You had me.
So you see what I'm saying, Pete? More and more people now care about this stuff than ever before. There's more people now that know the difference between 5G UC and 5G UW compared to last year.
Oh, yeah.
And there's more people that know about N41 than last year.
Man.
And now people know
That's
the difference
true.
between 5G Plus and 5G and 5GE. So as long as channels like mine exist, we're going to continue to educate and inform. So in my opinion, if 20,000 people in the SMT nation want to see that tool, well, if more people knew how important it was to understanding their connectivity and who should be getting their dollars, they'd probably want that tool too.
Sneed, I'm surprised the Wi-Fi Alliance didn't sue AT&T over 5GE.
All I'm saying is that we got these carriers making all these promises. They got all these great branding little tricks, 5G, 5G Plus, 5G UC, 5G UW, blah, blah, blah. You know? So let me get this straight. Let me get this straight, Jerome. You go to a gas station and you see 87, 89, and 93. Who do you think mandated that? Everybody knows that those are grades. All it takes is someone to mainstream it and create policy. There's no policy. More people would be into it if they knew it existed. They want it to be hidden. I'm not here looking for the excuse. I'm just saying that as more and more people become informed, the more will care. You see what I'm saying? Like, people know about grades of gasoline because they have to. What does their car take? What does your phone take? What is your phone connected to? Right? I'd equate it to that. It's not complicated. You would just create a tool. Hell, I'm behind funding it, damn it.
I'd beta test that. I'd do a paid beta for that.
Would it be uncarrier, Pete, if a carrier gave you a tool to access all bands in the form of an application that had access to your modem?
I think it would be uncarrier if you popped open the app and it said you're connected to these bands on this tower. This tower has these bands available at this frequency allotment, and these are the other bands and towers around you with all their specification. And this is the icing on the cake, let you pick a different tower if it gives you better connectivity.
You guys want to check out how the poll did?
Let's do it. I've been curious about it. Let's see.
And
let's see what we got for votes. It looks like we got about 72 votes. You think so?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. All right, we're going to end the poll. All right, so we asked the question, Google Pixel 7, no DoD, seems to be the indication. Is that a deal breaker for the AT&T customer if they wanted that phone? 47% prefer the iPhone or the Galaxy anyway. 31% said yes, it's a deal breaker. 20% said no, not a deal breaker. So the majority are either not interested in the Pixel, or it's not a deal, or it is a deal breaker. So if you combine the numbers, Pete, we're looking at about 80% of people.
Yeah, major goose egg, and actually that fits the AT&T demographic I know. It falls into one or two people. You got the boomers who are excited that it connects to LTE still, and you get the people who buy the iPhone.
We got to get Google Android on a Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. Google camera, Google Assistant, fully integrated. That's what I want, man. Oh, damn. Baby Yoda's putting it on Ricky pretty thick in the live chat. Go subscribe to RFK Tech to learn more about C-band. Yeah, Ricky's trying to change it to S-band, I think. Just make it official. Oh, man.
That actually
What else,
sounds
fellers?
like a better idea.
What else, fellers? Anything else you guys want to discuss?
Well, so do you guys remember the nutritional label thing that the FCC
how's
brought
that
up?
doing?
I think that it's going to be implemented soon because
Moose, do you want me to put up an example on the whiteboard with my new whiteboard camera?
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay, give me a moment to set up.
Go ahead, Moose. Keep going. Oh, damn, Moose fell out again. Let's get Moose. Cha, you back?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. The nutritional label, right, was this idea from the FCC that it just standardizes what you're going to get from what ISP, similar to how the nutritional facts on the back of anything you buy right from the grocery store, it has a label telling you exactly what is in there, right? Because that's by law mandated, right? So the idea is for ISPs, and Pete, I need you to chime in on this, right? Just need also, when you buy service from an ISP or from a wireless carrier, you have to provide, this is what you're buying, right? This is the minimum threshold of what we offer, right? And you're not guaranteed anything. Like there has to be like some things, right? Like legal verbiage, etc.
Hey, do you like my new whiteboard camera?
Loving it.
Let me see if I can give you solo layout, Pete. Can I do that? Maybe let's do this. Is this any better? Oh, okay. So I'm going to have to get rid of this. Let's do a quick shout out to the super chat from Robert. Sneed sent an email about tower upgrades in Miami, Florida. Thanks, buddy. I'll check it out. And thanks for the super chat, man. Appreciate the dono. I haven't missed any, have I? I try not to miss your guys'
nope,
super
that
chats.
was the second one I noticed.
Okay. All right, Pete. Go ahead, bruh. Okay, Pete. So I see boxes. Okay, there's another one. Oh, this is the nutritional labels. That's right. So connection type, average downlink, peak downlink. What's the one under it, Pete?
Fees.
That's probably most important for which two companies, Pete?
I mean, you probably wouldn't use AT&T if they had to show their property tax fees.
Hey, Onward, what's going on, sir? Good to see you, man.
So yeah, you get a box label like this, and do you like that floating hand in there?
Yeah.
I set this up for something with Dennis, and his first comment was, "You have a really long arm." But yeah, you'd have like mobile average download. I don't know, 200, peak download 500, fees, reliability, average uplink, um, taxes, price per line, things like that. Just like you get on the back of the box, and everything will be in God's metric.
So when do we start seeing this? I thought they were putting that into action.
I thought it was going to happen soon, right, Pete? That's what I was thinking.
I think the requirement has been pushed back to Q4 this year, so we have, no more than 3 months.
All right, Pete. So that's built pretty good. Do you think that once they get this in like execution, do you think they modify, adjust, fix, improve as the years go on? Is it always going to be like a type of thing where we can enhance it and make it better from year to year?
Well, if you remember with the
Like fixed
nutrition,
wireless access, for example, something like
Sneed,
that,
do you remember the nutrition labels in the past 6 years? They started putting in added sugar rather than just total sugar.
Yeah.
So the idea is 1-to-1 the upgradability of what you would expect with a nutrition label, except this is what you're paying for when it comes to the internet.
So is this what you were talking about, Moose, in terms of the labels?
That's right. That the label, right? It's going to give some level of transparency, but I'm not convinced, Nate. You know, how are they going to implement this at every retail store, every online interaction? Even over the phone, you're going to be sent via text this nutritional label. Like how is this thing going to fly? How is it going to work?
So over the phone, you would end up with the idea is you can't do like verbal approval over the phone saying, yes, I just want to upgrade. They will email you something for a DocuSign that will have something like this. Because verbal consent for, something major like picking a phone plan isn't really good enough. I have a nephew who sounds just like his father. And if he has all his father's information, he sounds like his dad. Guess what? He just changed his dad's phone plan.
Yep. I'm the same way with my dad, for many years, when I was talking to my accountant, right? He would always be like, who's talking right now? I can't tell the difference between the both of you because we were both on the phone, right? So you're absolutely right on that one, Pete. It depends on the, primary user, and then, you have to get that DocuSign e-signature, through via secure link.
Yeah, and that requirement's also included in the nutrition label discussion. Because, despite the fact I have a now 12-digit PIN, anybody who could guess my PIN, if they're insane enough, could technically impersonate me.
Question for you guys. Then this will kind of cap off the show. Are you guys buying anything for the rest of the year in terms of electronics, mobile networking, hardware, gateways, routers, anything? Computers?
I just built a computer for a client, more computer than she'd ever need, for $1,000 less than she expected.
Oh, dude, you put a smile on her face.
Oh yeah. She's not gonna have to upgrade until her deathbed. Let me tell you.
She can worry
30
about
years from
everything
now.
else except the computer.
Yeah, she can worry about everything else like finding money, fixing hands. By the way, she's a hand surgeon.
Oh, so she's basically the female version of Doctor Strange?
Yeah. She'd also find that one endearing. MCU fan.
Oh yeah.
I bought a Pixel 7 Pro for me. Asked the wife. She said she just wanted the Pixel 7 due to the screen size. And I'm getting a Pixel Watch all in 4 days.
Very nice. I'm telling you, Sneed and I, we were talking about that. The watch is very popular right now.
Moose, how do you think the Pixel Watch is going to sell?
It's going to sell better than the Samsung one. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, damn.
Mm-hmm.
But Samsung's watch is quite refined when it comes to functionality.
Oh, yeah. And it's rugged. It's very rugged. The problem is that the Google one is new, right? And a lot of people...
It's also a Fitbit.
Yeah, they also like that it's primarily a fitness add-on, right? Just like the Apple Watch, right? It's a fitness add-on, right? It enables you to, like the marketing for the Samsung Watch is not fitness like Apple's version, right? Or Google's version, right?
Dude, Moose, I'm getting Fitbit Pro with my watch for 6 months, and there's a damn good chance I'm not going to cancel it after that 6 months.
Facts.
Yeah. Now, let me answer the question that you posed, Sneed. I really, really wanted to buy a Wi-Fi 6E router, right? The problem is that there is no need for me to upgrade if the iPhone this year didn't come with a Wi-Fi 6E chip. Remember, we were theorizing that it was going to on at least the Pro models, right? But it didn't. It didn't happen. I was very disappointed with Apple's choice. And then there's no guarantee. Yeah, go ahead.
The 7 series is getting 6C. Also, shout out to Franco Barrera, saying hashtag
Franco.
Sundays with Sneed, hashtag moose sighting.
But you guys get what I'm saying, right? If my main device, right, my daily driver, because again, I'm getting the Pixel 7. I don't know when, probably earlier than the launch day because it's getting directly shipped by our Google partners, right? If I don't have my main daily with Wi-Fi 6E, there is no justification to spend $650 on the latest and greatest Wi-Fi 6E router. And by the way, I need to spend another additional, who knows, $500, $800 for a multi-gig, 10-gig switch, because we know that next year AT&T Fiber will be upgraded to the 10-gig backhaul. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's on deck.
So Moose, I'm still debating getting a 10-gig line to my fiber, but the $250 a month is nothing compared to upgrading my switches, upgrading my NICs, everything, including my router.
So I want to comment to Carlos's comment here. He said, nothing will beat the Apple Watch Ultra. Best, period. It's a beast. I don't think the Google Watch will last longer than 1 day versus 4 days with the Ultra. So that may be true. I think you're probably right. I don't see how the Google Watch is going to last 4 days. It probably won't. I mean, a day for a Gen 1 watch is probably acceptable.
A day and a half.
A day and a half would be good, in my opinion, because that gets you beyond the first day, and you could probably just charge it every morning, right, for 30 minutes.
You hop in the shower, you throw it on the charger.
Exactly. You could survive on that, but I will tell you that I think Carlos, his what is important to him is obviously battery life. He doesn't want to charge his watch more than once or twice a week, okay? So,
hey, personally, I don't want to charge my watch more than twice a week.
But check this out, though, Pete. The Apple Watch is ugly.
Oh, yeah.
It's a square timepiece, and that's a problem.
Yeah, it's bulky.
It's ugly.
I've been testing it. I literally tested it today when I was on the treadmill for an hour with you guys. It is heavy. It is bulky.
But I don't mind that it's heavy. Bro, hear me out, Moose. The Apple Watch does some incredible things. I think functionally, like functionality wise, I think it's good. It does a lot of things. In fact, every couple generations, I feel like it's worth an upgrade. It doesn't change the fact that the phone is freaking square, and the watch is square, and watches are not supposed to be square. Square doesn't make any sense. Timepieces are round. What the hell is wrong with these people? Why can't they engineer a circular timepiece?
The biggest feature and the biggest selling point for the watch is it's going to be around Fitbit, so I can have the thing on my wrist with an analog watch face and not have to go, okay, what the heck does it mean in the corner?
Bro, square watches are whack.
I don't mind the square, but it does remind me of those old school Casio where it had like a calculator on it type of thing.
Yep.
You know, that's what it reminds me of those.
Bro, the best looking
remember,
smartwatch ever was the Moto 360.
Oh yeah.
I don't care that it had a flat tire bezel or what. That stuff. I am not, bro. That's like saying you don't want your kid because your kid has a freckle. Like, get the hell out of here.
You know,
Hey, Sneed, wait. What the hell is wrong with freckles?
There's nothing. That's my point, Pete. Like, like being square. Like, if your kid had a square head, you'd be like, "Oh, damn, kid, you got a square head." But you know,
I'd be thinking other things if my kid came out with a square head.
Dude, I just don't like square. So like, the Apple Watch isn't. It isn't, and it will never be an option for me. The Pixel Watch has a chance for me because it's circular.
So I'm definitely willing to test out the Pixel Watch because obviously, right, I'm in the testing mode right now of all things. I didn't test out the Flip or the Fold only because I know exactly what I would get, right, the form factor. My uncle really, Pete, you're going to like this. My uncle really, really wanted to get a Fold, like badly, like straight up for a workstation.
It's nice for a work
Yeah,
phone.
exactly. That's exactly it, right? Because you can open it up and have a full Excel document on there, or a doc, Google Doc, Google Sheet.
So I use it for credit card signing.
Oh, that's really nice too. Oh yeah. But
By the way, shout out to Louis for sending me that one. You rock, man.
Shout out to Love You Cha-Cha. I can't wait to go back to Las Vegas. I'm telling you, dog. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell the Cha-Cha, meet me at Tacos El Gordo. We're gonna get an insane amount of al pastor tacos. I'm telling you, dog. I'm telling you.
Bro, look. Functionality is greater than appearance. That's what I just said. What do you mean? We're on the same page, bro. Functionality is greater than appearance. I'm saying that if, in like the case of the Moto 360 with the flat tire, I didn't care because functionally the watch was great. I also think that the iPhone in all of its functional glory is why I think people love it. I don't think people love it because it's good looking. It's not. People like their watches because they function well. In and of itself, they are ugly.
Yeah. One of the things that a lot of these tech reviewers, MKBHD, Sarah Dici, Jonathan Morrison, right? They have one point of view that they're trying to tackle, right?
Oh my God.
Which is like the feature set, right? Like, what do you get out of this watch, right? We're tackling it from a totally different angle. How does this thing look? How does this thing function in your life? Is it going to last you enough hours of the day? Like in Los's case, right? Right, in Los's case, this thing needs the most amount of battery. And then in November, right, when the update comes in that it can last 60 hours plus or something crazy, right? He's immediately going to turn it on. I already know him. He's going to want that thing to go for 5 days straight, no problem. And by the way,
I miss that with my Pebble. By the way, we got 2 super chats from Anwa. One, Sneed pointed out saying form over function. The next one says, then give the Apple Watch a try, Sneed.
All right, so here's my position on that. If the Google Pixel Watch can do 90% of what the Apple Watch does, and it's round, that's what I want.
I'm in the same boat.
Like, in fact, I'll even bring the percentage down. If it can do 85% of what the Apple Watch could do, I want the Google Watch. I don't want the Apple Watch. The reason why the Apple Watch has found success is because no other competitor has been able to build a vessel, an extension of their smartphone like Apple has. Again, the watch is ugly. The functionality is stellar. And nobody else has been able to do that. Plus, the phone, the iPhone, is the best-selling phone in the country, and it's not even close. So, of course, the watch is going to be the best-selling watch. So, like when RF Waves brought up, the fact that he sees Apple Watches on everybody's arms. Do you know what the ugliest haircut in the world is? The most popular haircut in the world, right? People do things with their hair that you're just like, what in the world is that? But like everybody's doing it because it became a fad. It doesn't mean it's good. I'll give you an example. The ugliest haircut, in my opinion, is the taper. It is hideous. It is horrible.
Can you put it up? Can you show me what a taper is?
It's so strange. What a horrible haircut it is.
Let me see what you're talking about, Doug. I didn't know what you're talking about.
The taper is where it's like bald faded at the bottom, and then it does this weird shadow effect as it goes up. It looks like somebody cut your hair with a bowl and then did some weird airbrush thing with like your hair coloring. It looks terrible. And then that line beard thingy that goes with it sometimes, like what?
Doug, you gotta show me, Doug. Put it up. I just typed in taper haircut. Yeah.
Do you think my haircut is ugly?
No, that's a real beard, dude, and you've got long hair. Like, I get it, but like the taper is a hideous haircut, and everybody gets it, and it's horrible. So, like, to me, the fact that the Apple Watch is the best-selling watch doesn't justify it as the best-looking watch or anything. It just means that it's functionally fantastic, and people all have iPhones. Therefore, that's going to be the best-selling smartwatch. It's not because it's good-looking based on its merit.
It's because it can give you an electrocardiogram. That's why people buy it.
Hey, by the way, I was going to ask you guys this. What do you guys think about the response to the hurricane? I really want to know. Like, we talked about it on the previous podcast, but there's so much going on.
Wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
Which hurricane are we talking about?
The Hurricane Ian in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, and let me actually check the Hurricane Center if there's any scheduled for this week. Because I know Hurricane. Yeah, go ahead.
You know, one hit Puerto Rico 3 weeks ago, and it looks like they're getting the funding from Maria and funding to build back better from this one quicker than Maria. So I'm happy seeing that one.
Yeah, they need to fix their damn electrical grid, dude. That's the big
one. They're getting Biden bucks to do that.
They need to fix their electrical grid. They need to fix that. That is absolutely unacceptable. That every single time there's a hurricane, the power grid goes out. Okay. And by the way, I've always been under the
We gotta hope the Military Corps of Engineers can figure that one out.
Well, yeah, of course.
Because the federal government does not want to keep rebuilding the power grid. They want to spend as much money as it is to get it done so it's resilient.
I
remember
think
2003, guys?
Oh, that was horrible. And
for those of you that aren't old enough to remember the 03 power outage.
Hey, DJ Gage, Landon, My heart goes out to you and everybody else on your fabulous island.
By the way, my biggest thing is this, guys. Okay. If you are in an area, right, where you are going to consistently get issues with hurricanes, right, you have to put your electricity underground. Okay. But not just any type of makeshift underground conduit. No. It has to be flooding proof, where if there's water in the conduit, it's not, there can't be any water in the conduit, right? I'm telling you, DeSantis did something very amazing, dog. I'm telling you right now, that guy, if he's not going to run for president in this next one in 2024, he's definitely going to do it in 2028. That guy has a vision. He's making things happen. Okay. I respect the guy because he was able to go in and was like, we're not going to let Mother Nature prohibit people from living where they want to live. Like there was this island, Sandbell, something like that. Anyways, it was completely underwater. The bridge was out. The first thing that he did was in 3 days, a makeshift bridge was created from the Department of Transportation of Florida. Can you imagine the vision of an infrastructure project nationwide where you would have in that infrastructure project fiber on deck everywhere? No more goddamn coaxial. I don't care what the hell Dennis is saying about this, this goddamn 4.0 DOCSIS bullshit. No. I'm telling you, we need fiber, man. We need fiber everywhere.
Hold on, let's level the playing field. Pete, do you agree with that? Pete?
What was the question? My dog needed something.
Oh, he was going off about Dennis 4.0.
I can't go off on my boss. Man. You'll shoot me in my foot, aren't you?
Oh, man. All right, go on, Moose. Go
on. I'm telling you, we need fiber. We need redundancies as well, because I'm noticing here there was a couple of things in the Super 10 said, I heard fiber lines were damaged on Sanibel Island. I wonder if it was the fiber lines or it was a switch buildings, data centers. I think that you're talking about the nodes, right? Something, the nodes were damaged or waterlogged or something, right? Because we're talking about light, right? Light is going through that glass, right? But again, redundancies, needs additional redundancy. But it's completely unacceptable, Sneed, that my parents, I told you this like last week, 2 weeks ago, they were paying $140 a month for Charter Spectrum's 1 gig service that gives them the 40 upload, right? That's the only reason why they got it.
That's the only way you're getting that uplink, right?
Exactly. They didn't need it. They did not need the download. They just needed the upload. They were forced to go down because of the, there's gas is ridiculously expensive, guys, right now in California. It's like $6.50, if not more, in certain areas. Okay.
And it's going up more because OPEC said they're cutting production to raise prices.
Exactly. So this is BS, dude. That in order to save.
By the way, Moose.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with the U.S. government, but the prices are still going up.
Well, we can have a debate on this, but if we were not importing as much oil and had our own production, an increase of our own production.
Actually, Moose, U.S. oil extraction, there is I believe it's somewhere between 35 and 45% of it gets exported.
Jesus. I'll be right back, guys. Hold on.
Well, he goes back. We got 2 super chats. One from Anwar saying, I 100% agree with Moose. Dennis 4.0 can keep his cable. Legitimate comment, Anwar. And Austin's Tech chimes in again for the second time. Same $5. Saying, bring it on, Moose. I'm in favor of it. I've been getting screwed over by Comcast so much now. So, Sneed, Going off Austin's comment, the doctor I was working with yesterday, she's stuck with Comcast Wi-Fi in her house.
Wait, she does?
Yeah, she's stuck with it. Only
Oh,
ISP that does not that offers more than DSL speeds.
how bad we talking?
While I was there, the modem went off line 3 times.
Were you there for 20 minutes?
No, I was there for 2 hours.
Oh, damn.
I was doing audio video equipment installing.
So the modem went down a few times, and even when it was on, what were you seeing?
I was on T-Mobile. Why would I be on Comcast? It's more
Weren't you
reliable.
testing it?
Why would I test Comcast? It's going to
You
fail
know,
when I'm doing a speed test.
damn. You know, somebody DM'd me, not DM, tagged me on Twitter, and they sent me a speed test of the T-Mobile home internet, and their other option, I think, was Comcast. So I think they were doing that 2-week trial, Pete, the 15-day for T-Mobile.
I've been recommending people the 15-day when
Yeah.
they have HughesNet, and I'm like, yeah, you're
They ain't
paying
going back, dog.
you're paying $80 a month. See if this gives you about parity.
Yeah. Well, I saw 200 down and 30 up, I think, from his Comcast server, or 20 up. 200 by 20, I think. And I think he's supposed to be getting 300 by 20. So he's not getting what he's paying for. That's the first strike against Comcast.
Oh my!
The T-Mobile, though, he was getting like 350 down, but he was getting like 8 up. So if that's the best up they can give, that could be kind of sketch at times where the network might be getting some usage. So
Yeah, and I'll say at 8 up, that would do one Zoom call. So if that's what you get and you prefer that, hopefully only one person needs to be in the video chat.
well, the I think also the problem with the T-Mobile home internet, the latency was a little high. It was at 60 milliseconds. So that's got to come down by it's got to come down at least to like 35, 40 milliseconds at least.
A little birdie told me a couple months ago. Should be expecting that change before Q2 2023.
All right, so maybe that's worth exploring. He did have some jitter. I think it was
Well,
kind of bad.
you jitter on Comcast anyway, so
There was jitter on his Comcast too, so like it wasn't much. Like he was stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like the fixed wireless was just not good enough, but the Comcast was trash enough to where it had him thinking, you know?
hey,
Who's more
uh,
likely to fix it? T-Mobile on that site or Comcast at his address?
well, I'll tell you this one. Here, if I got T-Mobile home internet and I went down as often as Comcast, I'd probably get a $50 bill credit.
Yeah, but you know how it is,
Comcast,
Pete.
yeah, let me finish this though. Comcast would reply with "sucks to be you,"
Yep, that's true.
so
Yeah.
I'd go with the T-Mobile.
But you're always looking for the permanent solution, right? You're looking for the best thing. And that one's tough, man. You
Hey,
know.
we're just lucky we had the fiber.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Fiber, by the way, fiber is good for everything. You know, it's good for the internet. It's good for your diet. It's good for your wall insulation. It's amazing.
Hey Pete, you want to take us home, man? We're gonna close out the live stream.
All right, let's take this home. First off, we're at last call for super chats. So far, we've had 4 people chiming in with super chats. We've had Austin's Tech with 2, Robert Murambo with 1, Franco Barrera with 1, and Anwa just chimed in as 4, saying, "To be fair, Pete," or was this his 5th? To be fair, Pete, Comcast usually offers me $10 max as a bill credit.
Thank you, Onward. Appreciate all the super chats, man.
We got a $2 super chat from Gene G. Jr. saying
Thanks,
nothing.
Gene.
Let's see. We got RFK going hashtag no beanie baby. Michael Luke going hashtag peace, hashtag live crew. MS chiming in with a $2.71 super chat, his trademark, going great show.
Awesome. Thank you, MS. Appreciate the super chat. You hit it at the buzzer. Just so you guys know, if you want more access to videos, you're looking for more content, more live streams, the live streams during the week that are going to be member live chat only, those types of features, those types of perks are available by hitting the join button next to the channel name where you can subscribe as well. Maybe it's your first time here and you want more from the SMT, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications, become a member if you want to take your network tech enthusiasm to the next level and be a part of the community. We got Patreon too. Yep.
I think I just somehow upped my commitment to like $45 a month.
Why?
I did the $10 membership just so I could do integration stuff, which we need to talk about when you're free.
Pete, you do too much, man. We got a new member, man.
Yep, we got a mmWave at the $10 a month, Joel.
Thanks, Joel.
Rockin'.
That's nicey, man. I see a bunch of people here, actually. You can pick all these, like, emoji thingies. There's badges for, like, however many months and years you're a member.
Yep.
All the perks. You can be a mod with the mmWave. Actually, we're going to do that. That should be good here.
I got to talk to you about the Discord integration because, newsflash, it's me and Greg on the Discord, and we both tried to pull our weight, let me tell you.
What's going on, Pete?
Said with the mmWave, he gets Discord access. There's a way for him to...
Oh, we can, like, integrate it in there, right?
Yeah, we're going to have to talk this over because technically he should... Joel and every other mmWave member should be able to go into Discord, link their YouTube account with their Discord profile, and automatically find your channel, your Discord server.
Yeah, actually, that's...
So we're going to have to work on that, my friend.
Yeah, I'd like to see if that could work. And then it could be automated so nobody has to, like, fumble around with it.
Oh, yeah. Although, I don't mind fumbling, and I like people when they ping me saying, hey, I'm new here, thanks for the Patreon Discord invite. Get to talk with them and the DMs, make sure they understand the rules and whatnot, but in general, they're all good people.
Excellent. Pete, thanks for being a part of tonight's stream. Big shout out to Moose as well. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks for tossing me the link.
Yeah, absolutely. And, sometimes I don't know if you're making dinner or...
Hey, I was going to say for the next week and change, the wifey is on a cruise with her mother and sister. Yeah. So if you just say, hey, Pete, I'm going live, chances are, we'll go live with you, buddy.
I hope you guys have a great start to the week. Tomorrow's Monday. I think it's Happy Columbus Day, Happy Indigenous Peoples Day, whatever the holiday's been.
I have a better one for that. I'm trying to remember her name. I'll get back to you on it tomorrow. But it's the first state, my state, Colorado, changed Columbus Day to the name of an indigenous woman, which is the only state in the union that has a holiday for somebody of that demographic.
There you go.
I feel some token inclusion there, and it gives me the warm fuzzies.
Warm and fuzzies. You're the best, Pete. Hey, everybody do me a favor. Like and share this video. You guys are the GOATs. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Pete, you're the GOAT. Moose, you're the GOAT. We out this piece.
Peace.